Hi, welcome to Unmaking a Mess with Darlene Morgan. And I would appreciate it so much if you guys would share and subscribe, keep listening, and keep reading. Remember that whatever I'm reading is going to be on my website on unmakingamess.com, occasionally on my Facebook page titled the same. And I'm definitely trying to record all of these as well for a podcast. In case you don't want to sit and watch my face, you can definitely just listen in. And so anyway, what I've been doing lately is going back over posts that I wrote a while back ago and I never got recorded. And I'm reading those to you to kind of get things caught up. And honestly, it's kind of good for me to go back and read what I wrote months ago and compare it to where I am now, and even like realizing that some of these things continue, and that kind of helps me to know where the work needs to continue within my life and just within my mental health, which of course a lot of us know it's never ending, and that's okay. It's just something that I personally have come to accept and realize. So anyway, I am reading my post from November, early November of last year, and today is March 23rd, I think. And so anyway, this one in particular is called The Natural High. And so again, if you want to go back and read it, it's on my website, Unmaking a Mess. And anyway, here we go. Natural High. I'm not sure what is happening, but I cannot decide if I am annoyed by it, grateful for it, or just not ready to let it go. Last weekend, I did not want to drink. Highly unusual. I tried to have a drink while I was cleaning the house, and suddenly I got the bleck from it, and I tossed it. I resorted to coffee. Then on Sunday evening around 7, my daughter came home, and I was so happy about it. I ran upstairs to my bedroom, and I grabbed a seltzer, which I had still had in my refrigerator, and I began to drink it. I went to the grocery store and came home, and a couple hours later, I didn't feel good. And I knew right away it was because of the drink. It was one drink. And I just want to remind you that this is definitely from back in November. It's not from right now. And I'm just curious myself when I wrote this. And it was November 8th. So I'm referring to the weekend surrounding November 8th, 2025. Anyway, moving on. In the most subtle way possible, I have asked God to take away the desire to drink. I cannot say I actually wanted that. But however, what we want for ourselves and what He wants are clearly two different things. Something was changing in me again. My body and mind is a social experiment and would be a scientific jewel for a researching psychologist. I do have donor listed on my driver's license, so I was just saying that. In church, the pastor had been talking about focusing on Ephesians 4 regarding one body and one faith and always having Christ at the center of it all. He went on to talk about the differences among people and yet how, though there are differences, we should focus on one thing, and that being on what we agree on, and that is Jesus. I thought about this. Since early September of 2025, I have not felt that great. More hurt than anything. It is the posts that I see from others and how our country uses social media to air their grievances and anger so frequently and more so lately. I'm no better. It does have a slightly satisfying feel to it when we can align ourselves with others of the same mind. However, I take a moment to think about what our pastor had said in church that week. It was, make every effort to keep the bond of peace, remember what unites us, focus on what brings us together, build up the body, and find maturity in Christ. He mentioned something about returning to ourselves and the joy that we bring. Or maybe I was imagining this, but all I know is I felt his sermon was speaking to me. I had not been my usual happy self, like the natural happy. I had been horribly jaded toward Christians, the entire country, and those who say they are Christians. I would see the stuff on social media and the reactions that are expressed to one another. They are harsh and insensitive. It is painful to read and see. I blocked tons of media that was directed to politics of any kind. And I personally was working on and continue to work on the brusque attitude for those messages and persons. I had a friend that was helping me with this along with my therapist. I think about Christ and how this was not him at all. If we are going to call ourselves Christ-like and Christians, then why are we not acting like Jesus did? I mean, after all, they did make bracelets that commence what he did, or trying to think like he did, with the nice little acronym WWJD. And I feel fairly certain he would not deny people the opportunity that he had. He would feed and care for the oppressed, and even more so for them. There is always enough to go around as far as I'm concerned. I've taken my anguish and let it relish in alcohol. It's been like I don't have time for distress, nor the time to go outside and work to remove it. So the quick and easy method of removing the anxiety was to drink it away. But last weekend, it felt like I'd had some kind of allergic reaction to the substance, as if someone or something was trying to take away my joy of drinking. So while sitting in church and taking in what the pastor was saying, I looked back to who I was a few months ago, walking around feeling much lighter, not just body-wise, I still need to work on that, but less weight on my shoulders, able to breathe, smile, joke easily, and less intrusive thoughts. I wanted that all back. It wasn't just losing friends, but also managing things in life and trying not to screw it up. I am shadowed by past incidences that cause me to feel inferior and incapable. So anytime even the slightest rejection surfaces, I want it to go away. I don't want to feel it. I don't want to dwell on it. I don't want to spiral. I had to feel that crap growing up all my years. And I am a sucker for wanting to please everyone. I am a true empath. I feel it all the emotions and feelings of others. It doesn't bother me, especially when it comes to knowing when someone just needs me to sit and listen. The desire to drink is diminishing, and I don't know why. I tell myself to try Googling it. Why is this happening? But it feels so ridiculous. It feels like a security blanket is being taken away. Now I know how Linus from Peanuts felt when it was laundry day at his house and his blanket needed to be washed. He had to live without it for a good couple of hours. For me, personally, I need to try living without alcohol for a good permanent time. I'm not going to lie, it makes me feel sad. How can a person get used to a substance, as in one that is your protective barrier? I talk about relying on God completely, which I really do. I trust Him with our lives. I cry out to Him often and praise Him even more when we get through stuff. Christ is our armor, our veil of protection. For me, I've needed instant gratification, and that's what alcohol does for me. It removes it all. It's not cliche for a person to feel like they can take on the world when they are intoxicated. But it is about the mental health side, how it removes the anxiety from me. It removes the worry. It removes the lack of confidence. It removes the poor self-esteem. Alcohol is the magic drug that you take when you do not want to feel the pain or when you just want to forget it all. I recall upon years ago when I was doing some very harsh drugs. I was getting so tired of staying up all night and sleeping during the day. I would do this every weekend, and when Monday came, I was a bloody mess. It took me until Thursday to feel somewhat normal again. But then the cycle would continue, and I would start in on the drugs again on Friday night. But there came a time when I didn't want that. I wanted to be like other humans who would sleep at night and wake up in the morning. I didn't pray for God to take that away from me, to take away the desire for those drugs. But something inside of me decided I was done, so I just quit. I've been like this my whole life, like I have always needed to rely on some kind of substance to feel adequate. I've always wanted to be accepted for who I am without all the crud. I just wanted to be me, and I think how hard that is for so many of us. Social media is factually a wreck to our souls. We are so influenced by it. That also may be something I need to remove, but there's no way. I don't think I could live without social media just because I myself use it to reach others. And I will always do my best to use it for good. I will always have the strong side of me that stands up for the poor and those that have to go without, and those that are unable to use their voices. I always want to leave a mark on this earth with people knowing all I could do is try, and in some aspects, that trying actually worked. We have more than enough in our country, and I think it's so sad how careless we can be with our money. When I bought my daughter her car after we found out her old car was totaled, there was a side to me that ran through all the finances and the money needed and the money available, and I considered how much I spent on alcohol each week and how I could clearly be put and how all that money could clearly be put to better use. Like so many other things, food for instance. I felt the shame well up in me, and I'm glad I have a heart that feels the weight of it all. So quitting is not only for my own good, but for my children and our budget. I have no idea if I will ever be able to give it up entirely. But as of this particular day, I had not had a drink in 6 days. The last time I had quit drinking was in January of 2018. For some reason, it was easier then because I had more to focus on, as if I don't have enough at this time. My life, my body, my children, for goodness sakes, should be enough. I believe in the power of prayer. My prayers to remove the desire for alcohol were not spoken in true honesty, but I was compelled to still pray for them. I've not felt I had to. Drinking is not good for me. I realize I talk a lot about drinking and substances and anxiety and depression, but that's because it's what's occupying my spare time and my go-to for crappy days and my go-to for happy moments. I don't know what I want to do. I just know I want it to be happy again, naturally, like I want that natural high back. So, with that in mind, before I totally finish, that was the end of that. And then I'll go into the final word that I usually add. I highlighted some areas because here we are. This was November 8th of 2025, and it is now November, December, January, February, March. We're talking 5 months later. And I want to fill you in on where I am now with everything. So first of all, the drinking, I had given it up. I did want to take away that strong desire to drink because it was bringing me down so many days. I was feeling more tired than usual, and I was not having the energy. And I just knew that everything that I did and said just was not me. And that just really made me feel really bad. It made me feel a lot of shame for not being able to be my true, authentic self. However, I've come to realize since that day that I do have an addiction to substances. If it's not drinking, it's going to be something else of some kind. And it doesn't always mean that it's something that is like a drug or an alcohol. Right now, in particular, as silly as it sounds, since I've given up eating gummy bears during Lent, it's now mandarin oranges, which at least it's a fruit and has natural sweeteners in it. And that's my nighttime snack. On the other hand, I think the most important thing for me is realizing that I'm an addict and I probably am always going to be. I don't think it's unusual for us persons, humans, whatever you want to call us, to have some sort of go-to in our life that we resort to for some type of joy or something to just kind of take away the things that we don't want to think about. And when we don't have that, it means that we need to find purpose. We need to find some type of purpose in our lives that gets us through our days and realize that we are here for a reason. I decided to have a drink last week, I think it was. No, I think it was more a couple of weeks ago when I took a girlfriend, to this really cool little cocktail lounge, and they have these absolutely gorgeous drinks that are so good. And it's not like it's the alcohol that I had been drinking. It's more like enjoying a drink with an appetizer. So I did that weekend. And then last weekend, I met my daughter and her boyfriend at the same place and tried another drink just because they are just gorgeous drinks. And that was enough. I did realize, though, that on my drive home last weekend, I was so close to stopping at the grocery store and buying some seltzers. I had enough strength in me to not do it because I don't want to go back to that feeling of feeling lethargic, feeling like I have a lot of clouds in my brain. I'm more tired than usual, and I just can't be myself. I absolutely know when I am full blown on alcohol. And even though they say that alcohol doesn't stay in your system for long, I beg to differ. I mean, even if I was drinking and I would go a day or two without, it just took over my entire soul and how I approached a lot of things in life. And I'll say it over and over that my daughters and my son only have one mom, and that's me. And I have to take care of myself, knowing that what they see, what they witness, and how long I'm here on earth is just so important. I want to be here as long as I possibly can. I want to take care of myself the best I can. I still want to drink, like go out on a date and have like just one really nice drink and call it good, like mature, responsible people know how to do, and realize that I don't have to keep doing it and doing it to feel a certain way. And I think that was a lot of the reason why I did all the drugs that I did and the drinking that I've done, is because I never could and can figure out the person that I am. It is the magic drug that you can take when you don't want to feel the pain. And to be honest, I have a lot of pain in my life. I have a lot of feelings of inadequacy, self-confidence, self-esteem. I question a lot of things I do as a mom. And There's times when, that was my dog. There's times when I just want to be like super strong and bold, and like some of these moms are, where nothing phases them and they just kind of accept like this wonderful personality and parent that they are. I often wonder about that and if I will ever get that way, but I figure at the age that I am now, I think I am learning so much about accepting just all the mental health issues that I've had, that I've overcome, and that I'm left with. Yeah, all the mental health issues that I've had, I've overcome, and what's left in my life, and how to live with that, how to accept it, and how to reach people and help people to realize that, you know what, if you have anxiety and depression, sometimes you do have to medicate it with certain medicines. Other times you don't have to do that. Sometimes it's a matter of seeing a therapist, taking medicine for a little while, and then slowly getting off of it. And then there's other times when, you know, you might just have to deal with these things the best way that you can possible. And don't disregard yourself. Don't put yourself down because you feel as if being down and depressed is such a horrible thing. It's actually not completely bad. It's a matter of when you have those depressed moments and when you expose yourself to them. For me personally, when I go through these depressed times, which come to think of it, I haven't really had one for a while. They're usually triggered by something. I just kind of get in my room and just cave up in here and maybe watch something, maybe cry it out, or other times I just come up here and try to exercise it off. I think mostly for my part, I have a lot of anxiety and anxious moments that I deal with, and a lot of feelings of just not being enough. I will tell you this, that being able to work outside and doing things outside is such a relief for me. It gives me like this undeniable strength within that helps me to realize the things that I truly enjoy about the person that I am, and taking care of our house and knowing that I can do these things. And I was able to do that this weekend, just getting outside and cutting up a bunch of wood that, you know, it helps me. So anyway, that is it. I think I've addressed everything to where I am now. Have gone back to drinking a little bit, but I'm trying very hard to moderate it to only when maybe I spend time with a friend or something, and that is it. I'm realizing that I'm probably always going to have this anxiety and depression, and how to deal with it the best that I can and how to combat it. And just continuing to really lean into Christ throughout everything. I still feel like these certain jolts of, okay, so I ran out of storage again. It must have to do with apps that I have. So I'm going to finish this up real good. I am not going to get into that jolt because it has to do with something that happened today. And I'll just address it in my writing and then I will record it. So anyway, thanks for listening and watching. Please share and subscribe. And I appreciate you all. And just remember to ask Christ to come into your life, because with him it is possible. He doesn't make things go away, but he definitely will walk through it with you. And Trust me, it is so much easier with him. All right. Take care, all. Love you. Bye. One other thing. If you heard noises of gas like farting in the background, I promise it was not me. I would tell you that, but it's my dog. So please say a prayer for him because I'm taking him to a vet on Wednesday, a different vet for a second opinion. Too much to go into, but yeah, just say a prayer for Bentley. There he is. Okay, bye.